Welcome to another episode of the Wholesale Elite Podcast. I'm Isham and I'm joined by my main man, Mr. Tanner Santucci. What up, dude?
What's up, my guy?
Man, woo! Boys and girls, ladies and gents, Helena is in the building. We finally got her. For those of you who don't know Miss Helena Wu, you're going to be in for an incredible ride. Helena is a person that is well known amongst our real estate wholesaling community as just the lady who gets it done. She's the person who, if she is taking care of your deal or if she's involved at all, it's more than likely going to have a favorable outcome. So I am super excited to talk to you, Helena, and to really dive into your story, because I've got a billion questions for you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Super excited to join you guys here.
Yeah.
Happy to have you.
Absolutely. Helena, where are you in the world? Where do you live?
I'm in a New York studio.
You're in New York. Okay.
Yes.
So you're in the city.
Yes, I am.
So are we going to hear like sirens and cars honking and all that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Crazy man walking on the street, siren, all those craziness is happening.
Oh, I think I hear it.
Yeah, I do hear it as well.
Are you on the floor level or are you elevated?
I'm on the second level, so it's not very high flooring, so you can't hear everything.
Well, that's good. You don't have to worry about a creep looking in your window or anything. But
that's better, sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm so fascinated. You know, we've known of each other for a few months now, and I really can't wait to dive into your story. I've been following you really close on social lately and just been seeing the tremendous success and the trajectory that you and your business has had. You know, now you've got a team and you guys are growing and crushing it. So let's start back at the beginning. You know, where is Helena Wu from? Tell us a little about your family and your upbringing.
Sure, yeah. So I was born and raised in China, and I came here actually 2018 for my master program. I went to University of Pennsylvania, studied at Wharton Business School together with Art and Science Business School.
Oh, wow.
For behavioral science. So basically help people make decisions, the science behind it, psychology, all those kind of good stuff. And all my life, my dream is to, be working on Wall Street. And how I was raised is very deeply ingrained in my brain. I want to study hard, work hard as an employee, climb the career ladder, etc., etc. So I've never thought about being an entrepreneur. And my first job after I graduated is 2019 December, and I started my first full-time role January 2020. That's when I moved from Philadelphia to New York.
Okay.
And yeah, just things I experienced on my job, and as I gradually read more books to be more open-minded with new concepts, I joined AstroFlipping community last year, July, and I tested out different market strategies and stuff, and I started focus on one market around October-ish. And go from there, start with acquisition to disposition, now having my own team doing the full operation.
Got you.
Cool.
I want to kind of hit the rewind button and go back to China. How old were you when you moved here?
Oh, I moved here 2018. It's like, for my master, I guess it's like, I don't know,
like
22 years old.
like
Yeah, maybe around that age.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm totally ignorant to your life, prior to real estate. So, what was life like growing up in China for you?
Chinese fundamental education, if you have heard of that, it's crazy. Everybody's studying so hard just to get better score, get ahead of each other so you can go to better university. So it's actually very narrow minded because you just focus on school. You never thought like think outside of the box. That's why I kind of like raised just to follow the routine, the path designed for me. Never think that I want to be an entrepreneur, and I don't want to be an entrepreneur because I don't want to take on the extra risk, manage my own business. I just want to go to work hard, collect good salary, and go back and chill until some things happen later on in my life. Let me realize, this is a path that I actually want to take on.
Okay. What were some of those things that happened?
So, for example, because for me, I was on working visa, so everything is depending on my company, and it's let's say if one day my company let me go, like I literally have no other things to lean on, because I'm just here by myself without family and friends. If I am let go one day, the income source was cut off. I have no place to move into. Like I have no family or friend, to live together for a while, to feed me, etc. I don't have any of those resources. And for other, let's say Americans, you guys can easily find another job. But for me, or for other foreigners, it's extremely difficult because for companies who are willing to sponsor working visa, it's very rare. And even though they are willing to, the process is extremely difficult and time consuming, and the actual result is a lottery. So even though they sponsor you, the result is like a real lottery. So it depends on luck. So that's why, sometimes, because it's kind of a cutthroat industry, it's high demand, high intensity. And sometimes if you are not up to the expectation, they will, I don't know if it's threatening you or just kindly reminder, you gotta, be careful. Otherwise your employment will be terminated, things like that. That's
what
when
industry were you in?
Financial industry, so investment banking. And then that's start when I need to protect myself, because I have to be able to be in a position to take good care of myself. If I'm let go one day, I can still provide for myself.
Right.
And like what I'm doing right now is completely virtual. So even though one day I go back to China or whatever, I can still run my business with zero impact.
Right. It's fascinating because most people stay in the job for security. You are choosing entrepreneurship for security.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
That's uncommon.
People stay in a job to depend on a company essentially is a block, like it's a building. That company knows nothing about you. Whatever happens in the economy, they can let you go. It's a fake security. The only person you can depend on is yourself. And that's why I chose entrepreneurship.
I know I don't have a lot of experience with like immigrants, relationships and whatnot. But the little that I do, my guy that I worked with previously, Simon Chan, he's Chinese, and he kind of explained life the same way as you did earlier, where he was kind of driven down this one area, that's where you have to go. Like Jamil always says, we, like, if you're an Indian, like, you need to be doctor or something. But for Chinese, he was like, we were just forced to be good in school, and it's very competitive, and you always, you had to one up your friends and everyone else. What did your parents think about you coming out here to the States and then becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I actually super grateful that since I was a kid, my parents respect my decision all the time. They let me make my decision for my life. So I really am super grateful for that, because most of the families, the parents decide their school, career, even marriage, everything.
Sure.
So I have the luxury of being able to make decisions for myself. And so of course we are happy that I can stay here, do what I am doing. And just to be honest, I don't disclose too much about my business, my work to them. Just don't want them to be worried about anything unnecessary. So they don't know too much about it, to be honest.
Do they know you're killing it?
Maybe they know. Actually, I think we're trying to help them, support them financially. So I guess maybe they know.
I see. Do you have siblings?
No, I'm the only kid. So that's why I really appreciate them to, be willing to sacrifice me staying with them closely and let me pursue my own dream.
Absolutely. Have they been over here before?
So when I first came here, they sent me here, just toward the school, university with me. And actually they are visiting me right now. That's the first time I met them after 4 or 5 years. It's just like this year, January, they came here to visit me. So it's been a long time.
Oh, wow. That's cool. How did they enjoy New York?
I mean, they're just chilling,
just chilling.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your background. You know, there's definitely someone who will be able to relate to that and be inspired by it. And I want to move on to the career. You know, so investment banker. You know, you said your goal was Wall Street. Can I ask why?
Yeah, I think so my mom was an accountant before, so I'm always gravitate towards accounting, financing, and stuff. And when I was a kid on the TV show, like they report stock analysis, the fund asset manager earn a lot of good money. So kind of in my impression, that's the way to go. That's my career path. I think it's just I've never think outside of the box, so I've never considered other path. And I enjoy finance even now. Like I'm doing real estate, I still make sure I am updated with daily financial news, etc. So that's just my interest.
I see.
But I'd rather do it like as a passion, as a hobby, as opposed to work for someone do that.
I see. So how did you find out about real estate investing?
Yeah, start from experiencing those things, learning from the job, etc. I start reading books. The first book is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh yeah.
And that really ring an alarm for me. Okay, this is not sustainable. If I depending on this when I'm 60, 65, I collect like 1,000 or 2,000 monthly retirement income. It can help me go nowhere. So that's why I really started thinking, okay, what should I do to build a path, build the future that I deserve? Right. And then that's when I started listening to, bigger podcasts, read other mindset books, and get into real estate. And then eventually chose wholesaling as my first strategy.
I see. How did you even, so I wouldn't imagine that the Wall Street guys are lining up, at the Robert Kiyosaki book stand to read all of his books. How did you even hear about Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Interesting. I think it's on Bigger Pockets, like they mentioned the name of the book. But interestingly, like Wall Street people mindset, they are very career driven. So they only focus on doing a good job on their W-2 to climb the career ladder. It's kind of different from people working in tech world like Google, Microsoft. They are more entrepreneur, have that entrepreneur spirit. But for financing, like Wall Street, people very career driven and very focused. They actually don't think about entrepreneurship that much. Right. So when I talk about it, they don't resonate with me.
For sure. So you found the purple Bible as some call it, and you read it and you're inspired. You get into wholesaling, and you kind of quickly glanced over how Astro came about, but what was your idea? You're like, okay, Wall Street, not really, I don't think I'm going to go that route. I want a more secure, path, more secure career. I think entrepreneurialism is for me. This real estate stuff looks cool. And you read the book. How does that translate into wholesaling? How'd you find out about wholesaling? Because I know he does, Robert Kiyosaki doesn't talk about it that much. He'll tell you, you can do it. You can become a real estate investor with no money down, but there's no like roadmap as to here's how you do it. So how did you find out about wholesaling?
Yeah, actually, his strategy is more, as you guys may know, buying asset to be wealthy instead of being rich. So he cares more about the asset as opposed to cash. Right. So that's why my first couple of rental properties, I buy them long term, buy and hold. So I save money, save, and then down payment, traditional, conventional loan, 25% down, yada yada. But that's too slow to build my rental portfolio, and it's like one single family at a time. And that's when I started getting into wholesale, because I do want to have that cash machine going on and make the team, the operation automatic. Basically, it's like quickly it running by itself. And then with that cash flow coming in, I can either be the lender or I can buy multifamily to actually build my wealth on the other side.
Awesome. How many doors do you have right now?
I only have 3. I've been on pause of buying traditionally for a while, because now if I am buying, I want to do it creatively, seller financing.
Absolutely.
It's just like the traditional mortgage route, how much scrutiny I need to go through. It's just too much trouble.
No,
For
those
sure.
properties in New York.
No.
I was about to be like, whoa, you must have saved up, girl.
Yeah. And the New York landlord policy, you don't want to mess with that.
Oh, yeah.
New York, California, they're all the same. So I have one in Michigan, I have some in Alabama, Huntsville.
Wow.
Let's go into the mindset stuff a little bit more, because I'm again, I keep saying I'm fascinated by you and your story, and I want to know. You seem like a risk taker deep down. You know, you still, like on the surface, you seem like a very, and don't take this the wrong way, you're a very put together, very calculated person. But you've got this entrepreneurial spirit in you. What is one of the last things you did that was out of your comfort zone?
Out of my comfort zone. It's actually a step down on my role, because in exchange for more flexibility to allow me to build my business. That's kind of like taking a step backwards. It's definitely not comfortable, and it's a tough decision to make, but it allows me to pursue the freedom that I eventually want to achieve. And it takes me a lot of time to, justify it, to make it, to rationalize the decision. And also, I'm not telling my parents about that at all. Go crazy. But it's definitely a risk for me to take. And also, that's like the previous 25 years, not my whole life, I was working towards, studying towards, all my effort went into it. And now I kind of decided to let it go partially. So that's a tough decision to make for sure.
Are you a plan B person, or are you a burn the ships kind of person?
So it depends on scenario. Let's say if I decided to, pursue real estate, I am the burn ship kind of personality. But let's say, at a more granular level, have a backup buyer. That's a very typical example. I am the plan B type of person. So I like to make plans to make it secure. But when I decided to go with something, I go 100% in.
Very smart. Absolutely. What do you think is, a unique skill that you have that is really helping you in your real estate business?
Yeah, I think I can sense people's emotions, or what's actually going on in their mind, or the true meaning behind their speaking from small details. That's just some skills that I feel like I have since I was a kid. When people behave in a certain way, they have certain facial expression, their tonality, I can kind of sense what they actually mean behind their words.
Right.
Just unconsciously, I can realize that. And also maybe because I'm more sensitive in a good way, I tend to notice those small details, but I don't overanalyze to drive myself crazy. But I do notice, okay, maybe I said something, changed the mood or how the other person is thinking about the situation. So next time maybe I should put it differently, etc.
I see.
Good skill to have.
Yeah, no kidding. Are you a morning routine kind of lady?
Maybe my answer will make a lot of people feel a lot better, because I am not. Like, I'm the kind of person who get up, just start working. I don't have like all those kind of things. I just like to go right into it. And I'm not like one of those 5 a.m. morning club people. I'm not either. I'm more of like a night owl. I can work until 2, 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., even 4 a.m. And I wake up maybe 8, sometimes 9 on the weekend. And I just dive into work right away.
Oh, I 100% relate to that. I want to so bad. I wake up early, so I'm up at 5, and I started, I had my intentions were so good. I started journaling, gratitude journal. I started, stretching, doing yoga, and doing the meditations. Just all the things that I was checking the entrepreneurial boxes that everyone is saying, you got to do this stuff to be a good entrepreneur. You have to have a morning routine, you have to do that. And then after a while, I'm like, that's not me. I can't, it's so hard for me to think clearly in the morning. I can't meditate because I'm thinking about how much stuff's in my inbox right now and everything that I got to do. And so I now wake up, I go get coffee, and I come straight upstairs to the office, and I sit down and I start working. And that's been huge for me. And so talk to us a little bit about self-awareness, if you will, and how important that is, and maybe even a story of how self-aware you feel you are.
I am extremely self-aware. That's something that I can, pat on my back and say, okay, I did a good job on that. Because I'm a very self-reflective person. I don't like meditate by, CPR, close my eyes. I like to meditate while I'm taking a walk and just, being myself, being isolated. I like to, move my body a little bit when I'm thinking. And when I take walk every single day, and during my walk, I just reflect my day, how I'm feeling, why I feel in a certain way. And just being honest with you guys, after I came back from mastermind and I was traveling before my mastermind in Arizona, just when I came back, like a pile of shit stuff, just, they all pile up. And it's too much for me to get back to. Several hundred messages, several hundred phone calls, several hundred properties I need to go through. It does make me feel irritated. And when I'm taking a walk, I just feel like, why am I feeling in that way? And also, as I go on the travel and stuff, the deal flow kind of slow down a little bit compared to 100% going to work. So I need to, adapt into the feeling. Okay, it is because I'm traveling, not because anything is wrong, going weird with the system, the flow. So I'm very careful about how I feel, especially, when I feel I'm irritated. I notice I kind of carry that emotion to other things, to new people, to new conversation, leading to more glitches into my day. That's why I feel like, okay, I need to stop and, clean my energy. And there are a lot of things to do, but at the end of the day, prioritize what has to be done in that day immediately. Nobody can finish everything, honestly. Right. So just, other things, I have to let them go. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's important. Sorry, Isham.
No, please.
I just want to say, I think it's important for entrepreneurs, because I deal with the same thing a lot of times, where you get the overwhelm and you get the stress and you feel like you take that energy onto other people almost, and not on purpose, of course, but your energy's low, or you're frustrated, or there's so much going on. And so you're like, I have to do this, this, and this. And so I really relate with you in sense of, I like to isolate. I like to go on a walk, or Isham knows, I actually go on like a drive, if anything. And that's my form, and no music, no podcast, nothing, just whatever, drive, a walk. And that's my form of decompressing. And a lot of the times you find yourself asking yourself, why am I irritated? Because at the end of the day, it's more of thinking, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have the stress that I do, because not many people get to probably have that. Or I'm grateful that you've worked so hard to earn that overwhelmed feeling almost. And so I just wanted to say, I think it's important. And I think that was a good point. I think it's important for people to isolate and be self-aware. And if you catch yourself being irritated with others, take a deep breath and be grateful. And I promise you, it helps a lot. So
yeah, it's like the Inner Size. That book is talking about AIA, so awareness, being aware why you are feeling in a certain way, and really ask why. What is causing that? What's the source of that? And then I stands for intention. So when you clean up your energy, move forward with the next thing, set the right intention behind it. And the last A stands for action. And when you are with the right intention to do the next task, or whatever is happening with your day, take action to change that. So that's AIA.
What was the first letter?
It's awareness.
Awareness. Got you. Awareness, intention, action. I like that. And that's from Inner Size.
So what role did you, to kind of backtrack again, what role did you step down, in your business or whatever, that opened up some of these freedoms that you were discussing earlier?
Yeah, I stepped down some role with my W-2 job. So I can pursue more with my own business. But for my business, I'm actually right now in the position of a technical role and a managerial role. So there are 3 roles: ETM. E stands for entrepreneur, T stands for technical role, and M stands for managerial role. people typically start from the technical role, and as they grow, they want to be a manager and eventually want to be an entrepreneur, work on their business as opposed to in their business. So of course, I started with my business doing all the comping, calling agents myself. That is very a technical role. And now I have my acquisition manager, disposition people, my VA, my underwriting team, etc. But at the end of the day, when I go through my daily inventories, I still do a lot of calling agents, talking to buyers, coming properties, training, yada yada. So I'm still in that technical role, but also I'm managing all the people at a higher level. So that's a managerial role. And eventually, like right now, what I'm trying to do is to replace myself out of the technical role, so I can be only doing the managerial level of the job. And then I hire people to do the managerial role, so I can be an entrepreneur and then replicate my current business model in other market. And once I have 5 these kind of models in 5 markets, I will hire another COO. So that COO will manage 5 managers, because less than 5 people is not worth hiring another COO to manage. So 5 is a number for like the people to report to. That's my next step.
God, I can hear that Wharton Business School kicking in.
For real.
I'm taking notes over here. Like, wait a minute.
So how did you come up with that structure then? I mean, is that something you learned in school, or is that something you read?
Yeah, so I read books and listened to how people structure their business. That's typically like the framework. But in terms of my own business, what kind of role I want to hire, that's more customized to my personal situation.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, very interesting.
So just to kind of go back just a little bit, when you were talking about how you go for walks to clean your energy, as you said it, what are some other things that you do to help with that?
You mean like depressed, the stress level?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So I take walks for sure, and I think visualization is also very important, because envision what my end goal is. It can help me realize whatever I'm going through right now is just momentarily. It's just all leading up to the eventual result that I want to achieve. So that's definitely helpful as well. And also doing something close to nature, because at the end of the day, we are so small in this universe, and we should be so humble. And whatever is happening to us or with us, compared to other, like more bigger things happening with other people in the world, like they are starving, etc., we should be so grateful already. So always raise that vibration, being grateful with what you have already, and the opportunities you can keep pursuing, you can keep learning. So every time if I face a challenge, instead of seeing it as a challenge, I see it as opportunity for me to learn, to grow. And as an entrepreneur, what we will never quit is to keep solving problems. So we should expect problems, issues going on in our business as a nature of the business. And every challenge makes me really excited, as opposed to, okay, why this is happening. So kind of just shift the mindset, how you read the situation, what's the story you are telling yourself.
I love that. What would you say are a couple character traits of someone with a good mindset versus someone with a poor mindset?
I think awareness is really important. Know how you are feeling and why you are feeling in that way. And once you figure out why, it's just your responsibility to change the narrative of the story and also take the responsibility. One quote that I like a lot is, only when you take on the responsibility is when you have the control of the things. If you are blaming on others, it's always about other people. You cannot control other people, so you don't have the control of the situation. But if it is because of you, then you can do something about it, and then you can change your own scenario.
100%. My a mentor of mine, Jeff Olson, I refer to quite a bit on this podcast. He would always say that, always to us in our sales organization. He would say, guys, when you blame, you give away your power, you give away authority, you give away the responsibility to fix the situation. He said, never become a blamer, even if it's their fault. You know, even if you're sitting at a red light and someone hits you from behind, right? Like that's an easy situation where you could say, but I wasn't at fault. It's like, yeah, maybe if you would have left 5 minutes earlier, you wouldn't have gotten in that wreck. Like shift your mindset into constantly thinking, how can I take responsibility for this action? And I feel like when you do that, that you see the world through a completely different lens. So thank you for sharing that. I think that's a powerful statement. So let's go negative for a little bit. What's been kind of what's one of your most interesting failures so far in the real estate world? Tell us a story.
The most interesting failure in real estate.
Sure. Something that went south. It can't all be peachy.
Yeah.
We're in a cutthroat business. It's not all smiles and giggles all the time.
Helena's like, no, my life's pretty good, actually.
She's like, we're 100% success rate on every deal.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I feel like, failure, like, I would say I've never failed because my definition is if you never give up, if you keep trying, it's just temporary rejection. It's not a failure if you are not stopping. You can only fail if you give up on
what a
yourself.
beast of an answer.
For real.
I was not expecting that. That's solid.
That's true. And so, when I'm initially in the beginning, when I call agents, it feel like it's going nowhere. All my offers got rejected. I don't think it's a failure. It's just the part of the process. And I was expecting that. So when that happens, just normalize it. It's very interesting because as I start building my team, hiring people, it's very interesting. People have completely different expectations for the same role. Some people think, okay, I need to come in, call all the agents, I need to do my comping, follow-ups, etc. Some people feel like, okay, I thought, I should be handed with a list of agents, properties being comped already. I just need to pick up the call them, hang up the call, that's it. So the expectation is completely different. And for me personally, whatever that I go into, I expect that it requires massive action from myself. And I always realize before I take 100% of my effort, sometimes even like 50, 60%, I achieve that already. Just because I expect it takes so much more. So I take 100% massive action. And usually the result will be achieved before I even go all in.
Man,
wow.
I mean, guys, if you're listening to this, I hope that you're really listening to the heart of what Helena is saying. You know what I mean? Like she's saying it beautifully, but I want you to like climb into her brain and really understand what made her answer that question that way. What's been your most interesting failure so far, right? She wasn't trying to be creative. That's the way she thinks. She doesn't see that as failure. You know what I mean? And so take that lesson and work on that. Work on your own mindsets. What are some things that are holding you back? Helena, you said something, and I'm paraphrasing, but you said basically like kind of expect it. Like I expected it. I expected it to be hard. I expected it to be challenging. So it wasn't a surprise when it came. It wasn't like, oh crap, what am I going to do? I thought it was going to be perfect. You had a realistic expectation for it. You didn't have this pie in the sky. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Sure, it's going to be awesome, but you knew that it was going to take a crap load of work and fail, ups and downs, lessons to get through that. So that's incredible. Well, let's flip the question. Let me ask you, what's one of your greatest lessons that you've learned so far in the world of real estate?
I think it's really, your network. Because people who you are doing, I think it's also, let me think, if I can only pick one thing, is the people who I, deal with on a daily basis. Now, when I'm hiring or when I decide if I want to do deals with this person, I don't look at how much assignment fee I'm making. I don't look at how much past experience this person can bring to the table to my team. I care most about the energy, because if the energy is correct, it can attract all the good things, all the good people, And gladly, the people who I am working with closely, we share the similar values towards life, towards financial goals, and because their energy is matching with my energy, they attract good people into our business, and everything just goes smoothly from there.
You know what?
Amen.
You know what's funny though, real quick, is I'm just thinking of this. Like, if every company were to hire based on the energy of the person that's coming in to interview rather than the experience, I wonder how many companies would actually burn to the ground versus the ones that would be successful. And my vote goes to Chick-fil-A. However they hire is how everyone needs to hire. But
For sure.
but really though, like, that's a good point though. Is you're looking for people with your kind of energy, right? Whether that's high energy, whether that's low energy, just people you can relate to and build a culture around. And I think that creates a foundation to scale the company, because that you already know who you're looking for. So there's almost that expectation of, as soon as they come into interview, you can check some boxes really quick.
Yeah.
And I think that's a brilliant strategy. I don't know if I've ever heard someone hiring based off of energy. So I think that's really cool and unique. So.
Thank you.
What so you've been at this for a little while now. What, about a year now, as a real estate investor?
So for my Astro, it's like half a year, but my buy and hold is longer time, maybe closer to 2 years. Yes.
Okay, awesome. And obviously you've been crushing it. Everyone sees what you're doing. What's some of the freedoms that real estate's afforded you up to this date?
Freedom, honestly, everything. Just being able to do what I love with people who I love at the moment when I enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing real estate, and I'm actually doing what I truly love. I'm truly passionate about. That's a freedom.
So good. What do you think it is about real estate that you like?
Besides all the business component, like I like to deal with numbers, I like physical asset and all. I think Pace Morby can give you 7 benefits of the real estate, like appreciation, tax, all those kind of good stuff.
Sure.
What I like more about is it's really building a generational wealth, and I can pass it along to the next generation, etc. And also, it's a teamwork. I enjoy so much just working with people who I love on a daily basis. Every day for me, working on business, real estate, it's not like working, it's like chatting with my friends. But the content of the conversation is about deals, etc. Just that collaboration and sharing, exciting moments together, just like hanging out with friends. It doesn't feel like working.
Right. Absolutely. I just got off the phone with a dear friend of mine, Monica Ross, and we talked for 40 minutes, and we don't feed each other deals. It's not like we're working partners, but we're just like minds. We love each other's energy. And of course we talk real estate when we talk. But I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm sure a lot of other people can relate. It's a fascinating world to be in. Okay, so this year, it's fairly new into the year. What are some things that you're concerned about this year, and what are some things you're excited about?
Yeah, let me start with something that I'm excited about. So I'm excited about stepping out of the technical role and only taking on the managerial role. And in 8 months-ish, that's when I want to step out of the managerial role to make this whole operation automated, running by itself, and step into a new market. So that's something that I'm super excited about. And concerned about, honestly, like really nothing. I don't want to lie, because I feel like just, gradually as I experience more things, I kind of expect things coming into my life. And because based off of past evidence that I can solve all the issues coming into my life, I know whatever come to me, I can handle it. So I'm not too stressed about that.
I believe you. I believe that answer 1,000%, knowing you, for real.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for being honest. All right. So as we kind of land the plane a little bit, I want to, give you a chance to talk to some of the new folks out there, folks just getting started, maybe some folks who haven't really experienced any success yet. What's a word of inspiration or a word of advice that you have for other wholesalers?
Yeah, I think God designed a path for each of us to achieve our own success. And it can be wholesale, it may be other business, but you are here at this moment for a reason. You either build a business off of this, or you learn a lesson, or you make some new connections from this. But everything happens for a reason, and you are here at the right place at the right moment. So trust what you are doing. And even in wholesale, different people have different, styles, their personal strategies, etc. So figure out what you actually enjoy doing and what works for you, and bring your conviction, persistence into that, and trust that you can achieve what you want to achieve. That beliefs is really important.
That's so good. Brent Daniel says all the time, progress over perfection. If you're stuck, if you're literally stuck and you can't move, you're seeking perfection more than likely. There's something that's getting in your way. So just make steps forward. Go for the progress. Go for that next step, whatever that next thing is that you can do. If you're feeling stuck, reach out to someone. Do something where you're progressively moving your business forward. So that's super powerful. So thank you for that word. How do you measure success?
For me, success is 100% freedom, first of all. Secondarily is being able to provide the life, the quality of the life that I want to provide for the people who I love. Can be my family, can be my friends, to help them experience the most they can in the world. That's a second thing. And thirdly is to have impact in other people's life.
I think that's one of the bigger ones for me. So I think impact's important.
Yeah.
Tanner, what do you got for Helena before we wrap? Well, I have a lot, but we'll keep it short and sweet. First of all, I would like, I think people listening to this episode, whether they know who you are, whether they talk to you, whether they haven't, I think this episode gives everyone a lot of insight on why you are so successful, because the way you think and the way you process things, and there's a common thread in a lot of entrepreneurs, and one of those being, they don't look at problems or failures as a failure. They look at it as just an opportunity to learn. But I think there was a lot of things that you've said throughout the entire episode that literally could go on anyone's bulletin board of how to become successful, because I think your mindset and the way you think is a testament to not only where you came from in your story, but just the person you are today. So keep rocking and keep rolling, because a lot of people know you, so keep it up. Thank you guys, for sure.
And shout out to your dad. I love the post that you made the other day. Guys, if you're not following Helena on social, follow her for sure. Helena, how can people get in touch with you? How can people follow you? How can they, if they got deals, where are you working out of? Go for it.
Yeah, so on my Instagram, it's just Helena Wu Abundance, because my company name is Abundance Real Estate Group. So that's why my Instagram name is Helena Wu Abundance. And if they have Florida deals or Arizona deals, basically deals anywhere, send it to deals@abundancereg.org. So deals@abundancereg.org. That's where the deals go to. And I will also be hosting live calls Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So Monday and Saturday is from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And Wednesday is 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So bring your questions, can be, like team building, mindset, comping, help you analyze a deal. We can do role play as well. Whatever you need, I'll be there for you guys.
That's awesome. How do you do those? Are those over Zoom?
It will be live calls on Instagram.
Oh, I see. Wow, that's gotta be fun. I have to check one of those out.
For sure.
I've done an IG live before.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, guys, you have your marching orders. I'm telling y'all, I remember getting a deal from Helena a while back. The first deal I ever got from you had everything. It was like the first deal that was sent to me that included everything. And I was like, this person's sharp. Like, yes, thank you. And then from then on, just seeing your trajectory, it's like, of course, it just makes sense. So Helena, I mean, we're so honored to have you. And I do have one last question for you. And I feel like people get annoyed at me for asking this question, but I'm just so fascinated by people's answers to this. You've got all the cameras, CNBC, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all those cameras are pointed at you. You're standing on, a big platform and a bunch of microphones in your face, and you have the opportunity to speak to the entire world. What would be your message? What's your message to the world? Heavy. I know. It's a tough one. Don't blow it.
I think it's knowing what you truly want in your life and go for it. Because many people, what you want is not money, not power. It's different. Like, know what you actually want and the why behind your goals, and just embrace it and enjoy every single step towards that.
Man. So good. Helena,
drop.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for finally coming on the show. I'm glad we were able to have you on here. It's been an honor and a pleasure. So thank you so much.
It's very fun hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And guys, we want you in that seat. We want to interview you and go through your story. And so go out there, crush it, make it happen. And we'll have you on the next episode of the Wholesale Elite. Peace. What up, Elite fan? That's a wrap for today's episode. But look, if you got value out of the show today, do us a huge favor and give us a review or give us a like or subscribe. Do all the things to help us get the word out there. And look, we want to see you on the next show. So get out there and crush it, make it happen. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace.